My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on today's show, I'm pleased to have a returning guest, the quarterback for Windsor High School, Elijah Cromartie. Elijah, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show, man.
I appreciate it. It's lovely being back. It's a long time, since freshman year, but better things are in store for this season.
First and foremost, before we get into the nitty gritty as far as what's been going on with you, I just want to ask, how is your family and, is everybody okay?
Everybody's my family good. We stayed healthy during this COVID season, just staying on top of things, really just doing what we had to do to get by, really.
Good. I'm happy to hear that, and I hope everybody continues on staying healthy.
Appreciate it.
No problem. So, obviously it's been a while since I've talked to you. I know you were on here during the height of the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic. And it's crazy to think how so much has changed within a year plus. I mean, you had what happened in September when the season was canceled, September 4th, September 6th, one of those 2 days. I'm pretty sure it was the 4th. And then having that whole corral and then going from playing, not playing, playing, not playing. Then you had the 7 and just everything else. So I just want to ask, how did you deal with you and your teammates? How did you deal with all that?
Well, at first, when the coaches said we're gonna have a season, it looks like we're gonna have like a 6-game schedule, like contact, and then it went back to, oh well, we don't know what the CIC is gonna do, and so it just kept going back and forth, back and forth. But I really just told my team, I'm like, yo, like we have to keep our heads up, and so we just have to keep working and working like there is gonna be a season, and so that's what we did. And so when they said we're gonna have a 77 season, everybody looked shocked. And I'm like, it should be a blessing that we're playing 77 because there's some states that's not doing nothing. But we were actually doing a 77 alternate season. So I just said, let's deal with it. Let's go win all these games. Let's go do what we do. Windsor football.
I don't want to say that I'm shocked, but I think for a lot of people who, hearing all that went into the last couple months during September, October, etc., and just hearing about a 7v7 and such, as someone like yourself, to kind of bring your brothers together and not either panic or, I guess, basically act immature. Just the way you're telling me, man, the way that, and I'm sure you wouldn't lie to me, it sounds like it was very mature for you. You were like, hey, we got something. It's better than nothing. Let's take what we can out of it. Let's squeeze everything we can out of the tube, and let's just run with it because we know at some point we will get back on the field again.
Yes, we will. And that's what we did. We went out there for those 6-7 games. We balled out. Everybody was executing on all levels. Defense was clicking. They were getting stops. Offense was scoring almost like every drive. And so after each game, I'll be like, we got another one. We have another one, have another game. And so it just kept going. We just kept rolling. And so after the season, we was just proud of what we did. We went undefeated and we won all our games.
And when you consider what was going on during the 7v7 and such, what was the talk like? I mean, the first opportunity that you guys were back on the field, was there jitters? Was there excitement? Was it just all wrapped into one? Just tell me about that.
Well, after the 7v7 season, we all just dialed in and we just doing our schoolwork. And so at some point, everybody was bored. It was like there's nothing to do. And then that January hit. And so it was weight room January. And so we just started working in that winter. And then now the summer came up. That's when college camps came up. And so the jitters, I don't think we really never had jitters. I think we just always loved the game. Like we just always just wanted to be on the game. But was for some people like upcoming freshmen and sophomore, they probably had jitters because they didn't play their freshman year. But I think the upperclassmen, they had a better feel because they've been there before. And so I feel like everybody came in, clicked together, and it was just like we played last season. So I feel like everybody was clicking, everybody was coming to weight room, everybody was doing off-season workouts, and I feel like everybody just clicked. And now, as you heard, we won the grip and rip tournament, and so that's when everything just clicked on all cylinders. And so I feel like we have a great team to win a state championship.
And I want to talk about that tournament because there was a lot that went into that, and there was a lot of very good teams, a lot of competition. I heard a lot about, some players I need to keep an eye on as far as this coming season. And what really kind of, again, not shocked me, but really intrigued me was how the talent around the game of football seemed like it didn't take a step back at all. It seemed like guys, now everybody was rusty. I'm not going to say that there wasn't some rust, but what really kind of stood out to me was how everybody seemed like they were keen. Like even if there was a little bit of rust, they were able to find ways to make some sort of improvements over time. And Windsor
Mm-hmm.
was one of those teams that I think, as I mentioned to you before, you guys are never bad in football. If you guys are bad, you lose like 2 games. You know,
Yeah.
like the standard is there, and you guys are living up to that, at least as of right now.
Definitely. Going into the Grip and Rip tournament, I knew we had the team to win it all. So there was no problem with that. But like you said, the rust and people were worried about the rust. And like I said, I gathered troops. I said, but before the first game we had, the first day of the tournament, I was like, listen, there's teams from New York, teams from Mass, and so we're just gonna have to go out here, do our assignments, do our jobs, and go out here undefeated for the first day. And so that's what we did. And so we came back the second day. And so it was just nothing. We just clicked the whole game, and then just clicking game out, game in, game out, and just kept clicking. And the championship game in, we played New York. They're a really good team. They beat Trumbull, and Trumbull was killing it all tournament. And so they beat Trumbull. And so, but we just came with that mindset, like, we're not losing this. We're not losing this. So everybody did their job. Everybody did their assignments. We all clicked on cylinders. We listened to coaches. Coaches is telling us what to do, and we just won the chip. So, just going and preparing, it started all in January when we all started going to weight room when the COVID season was done. And so we just went in, worked, and then we deserved it, really. Like, we really deserved it because all the work we put in.
Do you think because of all the work that you guys put, because as we know, there were some teams that maybe didn't have an opportunity, or just a lot of guys were like, you know what, I don't want to work, I don't want to work out during January, February, and such, like the work that nobody sees. Do
Yeah.
you think the work during that time, obviously it led to the championship and the grip and rip it, but do you think all of that work at that time, you knew at some point was going to, you were going to see the fruits of your labor at some point?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like when we went into work, I feel like we knew what to do. So like when January hit, everybody was there, everybody was lifting weights, everybody was outside, even in the cold. We did conditioning in the cold. So like we were just used to the elements. Like the coaches said, hey, it's not too cold to go outside, even though it was like 50, 49 degrees outside. And everybody looked at the coaches like crazy, but we actually did it. And so we was conditioning. We went to the field, we threw the ball, corners came, the receivers came, everybody came. And so it just all led up to that grip and rip tournament. And so really we just clicked on all cylinders, and I just knew we were gonna win it. I just knew we were gonna win the championship. So I feel like all the work we put in, it definitely paid off. Definitely.
At what game during that tournament did you feel like things were starting to basically go back to normal in your sense, where you felt like things were starting to get back to normal speed as they were your freshman year?
So the first game of the second day, the tournament,
Mhm.
um, every like we were down, I think we were down to what was the team? I forgot. It was some team, and so it was a white team, some white team. And so it had we were down 32, no, not 32, like 20 to 18. And so I gathered the offense, defense, I gathered everybody. I was like, listen, we gotta lock in. We had plenty of time. We had like 9 minutes left. We had plenty of time. I said, offense, we're out there. So they scored. We went on the field, we scored, boom. I said, defense, let's go get it stopped. Defense got to stop. And then we couldn't be stopped the rest of the game. So that just lets you know that we have that will and that heart to go out there, and we have the gritty and the toughness to go out there and finish the game. And that's what we did.
Now, the weapons that you were throwing to, are they
Mm.
different than what you had freshman year?
Um, I feel like the talent. I feel like the talent wise and the depth. So like the depth of receivers we have is crazy. Like we have a bunch of dudes that can do everything. Like we have the starters, the second string. I feel like the second string, the set receivers that we have, they can start on any team in the state and do good. So that's how much confidence I have in my team and the work they put in to go out there and do what they did in Gripper. So I feel like the talent level is there. I feel like the focus and the mentality is there, and I feel like we can really win it all this year if we just keep working and working at it this summer.
So what you're saying is you have wide receivers that can do multiple things, the crossing routes, the edge routes, being able to go out kind of the curl routes. They can do any sort of route combination. And you feel like when you throw the football, they're going to be right there.
Yeah, they're good. The timing, like I said, in January, we went outside, threw the ball in the winter. It started all in January, and we all started working and working and working the timing. And then even if we didn't hit the route that we wanted to hit, I was like, we're gonna run it again. We're gonna run it again. We're gonna run it again. And so we kept running and running. And every single day we went to the field, we just kept getting better and better and better. And now it's just like the receiver, he knows, like, if I'm throwing a post route, it got to be over the top of the safety. And he knows that, and he's running and running to go get it. But that's just work that we put in the off season during the winter of January, all through the summer of grip and rip, and we just click.
See, I feel like that's going to be able to help so much in practice. And I'm sure your coach would echo this to your head coach, that less you have to practice on certain things allows you to be able to go more into fine details for the opposing team. Or if you want to come up with a couple new plays, it never hurts to have more plays in the playbook, especially if you can run them effectively. And I think
Definitely.
being able to do what you have done with the wide receivers and the team itself to buy in and say, we need to do this together, because you can't have separate people doing it. You can't have cliques. Everyone's got
No.
to be together. And I think if you have that and you stick to that, there could be an never ending rather, ceiling with this team, which is looking for a championship.
Yes, it definitely is. I feel like the players, including the receivers, everybody on the team, and I feel like we all get it. Like, we all know what it is, because freshman year it was different, and we had a real season. Unfortunately, we didn't make the playoffs, but going into that COVID year, the sophomore season, 77, and then now this, I feel like we all get it now. Like we appreciate what happened COVID season, and so it just motivated us even more. And then when we started working out in January, it just like we just had like something lit up in us, and so we just started going crazy in the off season, doing workouts. And I feel like we have a chip on our shoulder to prove like who we really are, because the last time people really saw us was that freshman year. My freshman year, we went 73 and made the playoffs. So I feel like we left a wrong impression on people. And I feel like it's our year to let people know what Windsor football is all about.
And I want to talk about that work that you've done. I know you've worked with a deaf quarterback who's worked with a variety of quarterbacks. Two of them I know, Tanner Leo from Crosby, Jakari Grant, who's from Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
He's worked with him a lot as well. And he actually, when I had him on a couple weeks ago, spoke very highly of not just the deaf quarterback, but also how his footwork, the happy feet, and being able to, because he talked about pitch mechanics, making sure with the load and the front leg, back leg, etc. What has the
Definitely.
deaf quarterback done for you, man, as far as helping your mechanics and just as a quarterback in general?
I feel like the little details he helped me with, like basically on my toes and just shifting body weight just in and out. I feel like that had a big part of improving my game, because that's the little things is always bigger than you really think. So when I just went in the lab with him, he just taught me more stuff to fix my game, like the little things. So I feel like me working with him and just studying and like how he teaches people and the kids that come, I just feel like it was just beneficial to me, and just going out there and doing what I did, especially at Grip Rip, because it definitely had an impact on me at Grip Rip. So I feel like we definitely me and him have a connection. So like if I could go in there and I could be like, oh, I need work with this, it'll be like, okay, got a drill for you, let's do this, let's work it, and we'll just work it. And so that's really it.
How much has, because I know with the deaf quarterback, and you talk about the lab, and I think that's something where you could just go right and say, hey, I want to tinker with this, or I feel like I maybe dropped my shoulder, or I'm doing whatever. I'm not getting to that. I'm not having the touch that I need to on the bubble screens and such.
Mm-hmm.
How how much how much has he meant to you in the beginning of your football career as a quarterback? Because a lot of times the beginning is so important, because you can be molded as a clay in so many ways, and if you're molded at the right way, as what I'm seeing right now, just like how the football team is a never-ending ceiling, same
Mm-hmm.
applies to you.
Yeah, definitely. The beginning is always something to start with. I feel like if you get that right start, I feel like it nobody can stop you. So I feel like if you are molded right, like you said, I feel like the potential you would have during your football career would be exponential. It will be great. And so I feel like when people come by and people see like some youngster, just throwing the ball and stuff like that, that's not who you're really seeing. But if you can improve on what you have done and like in the beginning from when you're young all the way until you get to high school, college level, I feel like the beginning is key. And I feel like if you keep working and working towards it, I feel like you could become unstoppable.
And hey, I mean, you also have to be very well spoken and also be mature, man. And obviously, I've had you on now once, now twice, and I've been following you since I've had you on, man. And well spoken, mature, a grinder, want to get better, and those are attributes that not many kids this young as you are have. And I think that's something that a lot of people will admire.
Definitely. And all glory to God, really, because I pray. And so my family is God fearing. And so I feel like my family taught me the values that I need, including my dad. And so he just really installed in me what it really takes to be great. And so I feel like throughout the years, like I said, I started playing football when I was 3. So he just built that up since I was 3, just working and working. And he just installed in me like that toughness, just like go get it, like mentality. So I feel like that's really helped me throughout my career. And that's gonna help me seek my first offer.
Another thing too and you talked about how you've been helping out some younger players with Jakari Grant as well. And I kind of want to ask you about that because I think the biggest thing beyond being a pro and coming back is being a former player regardless of how far you got and giving
Mhm.
back to the youth because you just never know what helping them could do even if it's not going to be football at the end of their journey. So just talk about that with me.
I was there in a position when they was younger, so I know how it feels to, like, you want to be great, and you want to be like this dude. And so I feel like when I was growing up, I had a lot of idols growing up. And so I feel like my idol was Mike Vick growing back in the day. I was like, I want to be like Mike Vick. So I did everything Mike Vick did on TV. Like every time I watched a game or something, say I watched a game, I would just copy his drop back and see, oh, I'm doing this. And so I feel like that just all goes into a part of you just wanted to be great. And so I feel like when the kids came, especially the quarterbacks, I just saw like they wanted the work and they really wanted it. So I just feel like it's great to teach the youngsters like what the like what it's really about. And so like even though I still have a lot to learn about, I just feel like me just teaching younger kids, I felt like it was just a great experience.
And you were also being able to pick the brain of Jakari Grant, who's a former Windsor quarterback for a couple of years. And I think
Mm,
it's almost like a perfect storm because he's been through the storm quite a few times because of COVID and everything else, and just having to bite and wait, bite and wait, basically wait his time. And now he's going
mm,
to have an opportunity. So just
yeah.
talk to me, about, or if you can, just tell me about the conversations that you've had with Jakari Grant.
Really, when we came to the clinic, I saw him. I just dapped him up. I said, "What's up?" And so we started talking. And so during the camp, we just went into detail of how like how Windsor offense worked and see if it changed. And we were just going through like reads and progressions and stuff like that during plays because, as you know, that he played with us, so he knew the plays and stuff. So we was just going through different coverages and stuff like that. What would work with that? And so like picking the brain of Jakari, it was like, wow, he's been here and he knows what he's done. So like picking up a player of that college level, I feel like that's what I need in order to improve my game.
Elijah, I really do appreciate you coming on. I do have one more question for you, and I actually asked the same question to Jakari Grant. So I want to ask you as well.
Mm,
Obviously, we know about how the quarterback position is kind of viewed in a lot. I mean, I go back to Lamar Jackson, who was told, "Hey, maybe he should try out wide receiver because he can't throw the football." Well, it's a
mm,
little bit different now because he's won the MVP, and he's I mean, proof is in the pudding. He may make $40 million a year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
the reason why I bring that up is, do you view that as, and you talk about the chip on your shoulder, and because of how, when I think about the NFL, we know Tom Brady is going to be probably retiring soon. Drew Brees is going. I feel like that there is such a need to have the star quarterback. But you think about a lot of the big time ones: Russell Wilson, black quarterback; Patrick Mahomes, black quarterback. You can go down the line. Lamar Jackson. Do you feel like because of that, it allows you to be like, you know what? It doesn't matter what the skin color is. I don't care about the height. If I can play, I'm going to get to the promised land. It doesn't matter about the rest.
Yeah, that's a big part, and I feel like Russell Wilson's and the Lamar Jackson, and the Pat Mahomes, and I feel like they're leading the way for black kids like me, and especially quarterbacks, because as you know, a black quarterback is viewed as not very typically smart and they're just athletes just wanting to throw the ball. And I feel like that's not true. And I feel like we can, like, as together, I feel like we can improve on proving the scouts and all of them wrong. And I feel like the black quarterbacks is up, and they're definitely up. So I feel like I appreciate the Patrick Mahomes and the Russell Wilsons on what they're doing and just leading the way. Russell Wilson's 5'10", 5'11", and he's out here like, shoot, he's out here doing it. So, like, I mean, when you have a black quarterback like him and his stats for 5'11", like, I don't want to ever hear that you can't do it, because you can do it. You can accomplish what you want to do. And if you're black and you want to be a quarterback, go do it. Just work hard, just grind. That's really all I have to do. And I feel like you can make it and just be great. That's really it.
I think, and I think a lot of people may say I'm right or I'm wrong here, but I think Drew Brees opened the door for Russell Wilson because of his size. Just like how Steph Curry being able to shoot the threes and basically shoot anywhere around the gym opened the door for players like Trae Young, who are very, very good at being able to shoot anywhere around the court. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
like you said about Russell Wilson and his size and such, you don't have to be you don't have to be the prototypical Peyton Manning, 6'5", 210, whatever, and have to be I mean, obviously you have to be accurate, but the point I'm trying to make is there is not a particular prototype in size and weight and arm strength that you can't be successful. Every quarterback comes in different shapes and sizes, and you can be at that stature, however the player is.
Definitely. And I feel like another example I didn't even mention, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's like, what, 5'10"? I don't even think he's 5'10" type, but I feel like he's definitely changing the game with what he's doing right now. And he has a rocket arm. So I feel like that's helping. I feel like that's helping a lot of young black quarterbacks right now. When dudes like Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, and how they're coming in, changing the game, just being dynamic as it is. And so I feel like that can really change the course of the game. And I feel like the game is going a different direction.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree. I can't believe we forgot about Kyler Murray. I think it helps
Yeah,
that he also has a head coach who has fully bought in and said, you know what, I just want to go right into whatever I want to work with you. The playbook is going to be yours.
yeah. And so Cliff, I know that he definitely coached at Texas Tech, coached with Patrick Mahomes, and like I feel has that mindset, that air raid offense, a straight pass offense. So I feel like that's a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if that just keeps going, and I feel like he could be great.
No, I agree with you 100%, man, on that. But Elijah, I really do appreciate you coming on. And hey, I'm looking forward to being able to follow you during your junior year and being able to see what you can do, because I have a lot of high expectations for you and the Windsor football program this upcoming